Well, hello everybody. We are with Lance Michael again, Soccershop.Bet. Well, the hits keep coming. We've got a massive day, in fact a massive weekend I have to say, coming up in KwaZulu-Natal, and then at Turffontein with the Jubilee on Sunday. Lance is with me. It's that time of the year where everybody is shuffling to get into the Durban July. It's a big day on the weekend. You've got some of those supporting features.
It's great racing, Neil. First of all, I see we got the memo. We both got the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You might be looking a little trimmer.
We're dressed in the same colours. So.
Absolutely.
As far as the weekend goes, Saturday is great racing. Find it a bit thin. I think a lot of favourites are worthy favourites. And then Sunday's card is really good.
Cracker at Turffontein.
It's outstanding. And obviously the tabletop is the Jubilee.
Yeah, but you've got Maharani running there as well.
Some top juvenile races. And excellent racing this weekend.
Well, we're not going to keep you long. We're going to pick your brains though, because we always like to come to talk to Lance, because the name of the game, if you're going to be a punter and you're going to survive, you need a 5-letter word. It's called value. It's all very well chasing 5 to 10 shots, 6 to 10 shots, but when they get rolled, then you're in trouble. So you need to find value, and we're going to ask Lance his personal but expert opinion on where the value lies. Let's start with the Gold Challenge, because we chatted briefly with Jet Dog. I think we both think that he's the best miler, but he's coming into this race. Maybe you could argue that his main aim is defending the Champions Cup, I think it is, at the end of the year.
The last Group 1.
And we don't know whether he is or isn't going to run in the July, which will...
I wouldn't run him. But anyway, I mean, it's not my decision to make.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in this race, he's a tremendous miler. He's proven that.
And he's won at Gravel.
Yes, and he's won at Gravel, correct. So he's the right horse to beat, but what are you thinking? Because so you priced up, in my opinion, quite generously.
Yeah, we laid 2 to 1. You happen to hear the bet being laid, yeah. So we made it 15 at 10. It may still be big, Neil. If he's tuned up for the race, he will win.
And if he gets a pace.
Yeah, you know, it's a Group 1, so you hope there will be a pace. If he doesn't win, don't ask me who's going to win it, because Silver Operator won the last time.
Yeah.
MK Pride's a soldier.
Linebacker capable on his day, but
My gut tells me he's not ready.
Yeah, there's a school of thought. I think, we often speak to Mike Wanklin from Dubai, and we've got Jay August and Graham Hawkins, a lot of expert opinion on clocking the gallop. And I can't remember who said it. Might have been Mike Wanklin. But whoever said it made a point of saying, not 100% convinced he's the same 4-year-old that he was as a 3-year-old. Has he trained on to the level that Comet did by winning?
Not on what we've seen.
Yeah.
What we've seen, definitely not. But he's a shrewd operator, Marshall.
No, a good trainer.
So if his mission is the July, the Hollywood July, then this horse won't be ready tomorrow. He'll be just about...
Bubbling under.
Yeah, come July day, he'll be ready.
I'd agree with that. Well, MK's Pride is in the race. I mean, what a storm he's been, yes.
For me, this is his July. He can handle the 1600. It's a Group 1. Paul Peters chasing the championship. And he's a big runner if Jet Dog flops.
Yeah, he's got to draw 12 to overcome. That's not in his favour.
Correct.
Russian Rock and Al Mutara. Basically, what you're saying is for you, it's Jet Dark or wide.
It's Jet Dark or bust.
Yeah, Jet Dark or bust. Right, let's talk about the Durban Dash. Master Archie is the highest rated 3-year-old in the country. Probably deserves to be so. I know he's been campaigning up the straights, but he's been unbelievable turn of foot.
First time around the bend. I don't see it as an issue. He's an outstanding sprinter. The race again is thin, Neil.
Yeah, I'd agree with you.
Hard to find horses that could match strides with him.
Maybe Ambiorix, you spoke about Vaughan Marshall, if he comes back to his best 2-year-old form.
Exactly the same scenario as linebacker. If he's ready, he'll make it run. If not, it's a one-horse race.
Yeah, I'd agree with you too there. Rubber stamp that. I think he's 100% right. It's all always about your opposition. And Master Archie, I think, deserves to be odds on. He's 9 to 10 now.
9 to 10, may even be big.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't even know. I don't see too many runners. Ambiorix is the runner, but other than that, I can't find a winner.
Let's move on to the Tibashina. These are all big races. This is a big race for Marina fans. If you fancied her in the forthcoming Hollywood Bets Durban July, then she's probably have to run well here to get in. She's currently, I think, 18th on the log, but there are horses, we'll talk about Naval Guard, for example, who could leapfrog her if they win the Jubilee, but that's on Sunday. So you've got Zarina drawn 10, Aldo rides. You've got Marina Craig Zaki. So Candice Bass Robinson's got the two favourites here. But Supreme Quest is interesting because Mizzy won't be hanging around on that.
Supreme Quest form's very good. It's over the 1400. He's run to some seriously good horses. He's run close on, behind them. So for me, that's the right choice. If Marina's not ready. If Marina comes to run, for me it's no race.
Yeah, I'd say it the same way, but the truth is this is over 1400. Marina's always a mile at 1800. So I think personally, the ideal setup if she runs well enough to get into the July and then moves on to the July. But
I don't like the favourite.
You don't like Zarina from a 10 draw, huh?
No, I don't like it.
Interesting. There's probably a few there. I think this is deeper because you've got Sweet Future from a 1 draw.
This is a decent race.
Yeah.
Holy Girl. It's got a bit of body.
Absolutely, I'd agree with that. So tread warily there because some might not be ready, others maybe not ideally course suited. But Supreme Quest and Sweet Future are going to certainly go like the clappers there.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Gate Crasher. I don't know too much about this, to be honest with you. This Gate Crasher must be for 2-year-olds, is it? The Union Square's quite a short favourite. Yeah, I don't know much about this, to be honest. What's your feeling here?
Union Square's got strong form. It's looking for the extra. It's out of the Mark the Cockyard or the Shakes horse. His form is very, very strong.
Drawn 2, big bonus.
Got everything in its favour. Just read me the other horses behind.
Big Slick is the second favourite. That's
weak form, Weak form.
Cousin Casey, that's what I'm saying. I don't know too much about these.
No, the right horse is the favourite again. Stressing the point, I think racing's thin. And it's a type of tote or jackpot you can take, banker, field banker.
Yeah, or a Yankee, one of our famous Soccershop.Bet Yankees.
Yankees, you can take a treble, you can take a Yankee, but these horses look to win. And I you know what, I say it with great regret because I'm going to end up losing
on the other side
a lot of money, but they look the right horses.
They do. If everything goes according to plan, I would agree there. Here's a race that looks fairly open, though, I think, in my opinion, anyway. You've got Warrior. This is the Cup Trial. Now, Warrior was always, I've mentioned this publicly before, in the beginning of the year, January time.
We've got a cup of coffee that's owed to me, Warrior versus Hoedspruit.
Is it? So I owe you another one. I owe so many coffees. I never win a
coffee.
From
our last conversation, we had I said to you, if you want Hoedspruit, I'm willing to take Warrior.
Well, maybe I can.
We're going to see how Warrior goes because Hoedspruit flopped. I think he ran 4th.
Yes.
But Warrior, will see how he goes.
So he's drawn 1, again a bonus in the Cup Trial. But the interesting horse again here are those on the fringe of the July. So Fire Alley is wanting to get into the Hollywood Bets July. Chalima likewise, but drawn 12 and 13.
That's the disadvantage. So Fire Alley won a 6 furlong in Cape Town.
Nice race, yes.
Cracking win. So, I mean, from a 6 furlong to the July, I mean, she obviously got a lot of talent. I'm a big fan of Warrior. I don't know how well it is. I don't know how prepped it is, but this race is a difficult race because if Warrior's not right, Fire Alley maybe, second run off the sprint might not be 100%. It looks like a race where you could get some sort of result.
Yeah, no, I concur with that. Just on the subject of Warrior, he was on my radar very early because I'm a big rap for Futura. He was the first Futura that I nailed my colours to the mast and said, this is a very decent horse. In the back of my mind, as I said at the beginning of the year, I thought maybe he could be a Durban July horse, but I'm not convinced that he stays or is as effective over 2,000 to 2,200.
No, he hasn't proven to be just yet, so I think you're right.
Yeah, although he would be very well handicapped if he got in to the July.
That's the reason why I thought 4-year-old well handicapped got ability, but I don't know if he'll get the trip.
No. Okay, but that's July. But for the weekend, he's another one that's definitely on the short list. Now, if I can just shift your attention to Sunday, because I've got the Jubilee betting in front of me.
Sunday's awesome racing.
Naval Guard wins, he gets a July run.
If you're a form studier,
yes,
which we all are,
yes,
and you just study what's in front of you, Naval Guard can't win.
Yes.
But out at the rate, out at the points, the ratings,
right.
But he is getting weight, 8 kilos, but not to the degree that he should be getting.
Right. So he's under sufferance.
He's under sufferance. And he's under sufferance with almost every horse that has a chance in the race. The 1 Portamanzano, the 2 second base. So he's very, very much under pressure. But he's carrying 52, he is highly thought of, and he needs to get into the race.
Yes.
So he's going to be a hard horse.
And something we touched on early on about Warren Kennedy's riding of the Paul Peter horses, he gets them spot on. He rides them like he knows they're fit, and they are. And he doesn't hang about. He gets on his bicycle, and sometimes he can go 2-3 lengths clear. He might hold on to win by half a length, but he rides them with absolute confidence, and so it's a natural fit.
Bit of the old Washong Mark the Cock years ago.
I'd agree with that.
Put it in the race, let it loose, fit enough to win, it'll win.
Absolutely. So Naval God, but for me, value, I know he's 12 to 10 into even money. I'm looking Perfect Witness as a young filly, not without a chance.
That's well weighted. She's a filly, but I'm not convinced about the 3-year-old fillies, even though it's Raining Holland.
Yeah, they've all beaten each other.
I'm not convinced, even though on paper she looks like the horse.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's a lot. I mean, Eternal, Ring, all of those fillies.
The form is just
Mike DeCoste's got a few fillies there. You're right, they're jumbled. They tend to take turns in winning. And the Will Havington winner, that cut up.
Well, that was a weak race. Was it also Snaith?
Yes, Silver Darling.
So,
it's an interesting race because, to be fair, Porto Manzano in second base have been on the premises for some time, but the others are all a bit like us, well exposed. The Golden Pheasant, decent horses, but
that's an iron-hearted horse there.
Yeah, lovely.
Doesn't know how to lose, so that's going to. It's going to run to the line. You've got Porto Manzano who loves the outside track, stand side track at Turfentine, and so does second base. So, if it gets beat, we say, what are you guys, stupid? It could never win on paper, but they're going to take a short price as well.
Yeah, and the dogs have been barking for some time, the Paul Peter are very bullish about Naval God in the July. So if they believe it's going to win the July, then they should.
But if it doesn't win Sundays,
they won't get it. Correct. And then let's end off by speaking about the Durban July, because it's been a while since we've touched it, and the betting market has been turned on its head, understandably so, because Safe Passage was so impressive in the Daily News. So I want to give an update. It once said when we last spoke to Lance, Safe Passage was 11 to 1. He's now 4 to 1 favourite. Pomp and Power is pretty much firm, 11 to 2, 6 to 1. The money for Sparkling Water, so that gives Mike DeCock 2 of the top 3 in the betting, and then everything else has remained the same. Linebacker will obviously shorten if he runs well. On the weekend, you got to do it again. Commented in Hoodspray, Jet Dog, Zapatella. So not much change there. But your take on Safe Passage, I mean, he couldn't have been more impressive.
No, nearly was out of the top drawer. And by Mark DeCock's own words, not ready.
Yeah, which is frightening.
He's a super racehorse, and I think the best 3-year-old in town. So if a 3-year-old's going to win it, it's going to be Safe Passage. Pomp and Power will improve, maybe first time. I mean, I don't know why he ran like he ran, so keen.
Well, and again, and I must thank, and we discussed this as well, Greg Bortz, after the Daily News, sent Mike DeCock like a public tweet saying, congratulations, well done, you beat us fair and square, but we're going to try and get you back, which I thought was lovely, very sportsmanship. But I happen to know that I think they're trying a new bit and stuff on Pomp and Power, so they're not sitting there without a plan.
Well, we know he's got ability.
Yes.
That's clear. So he could come back and win it. So the reality is the 3-year-olds may end up fighting the race out.
Indeed.
Unless Linebacker shows us something Saturday. Kwamiti Ding's not going to show us anything because he's going to come in fresh. I'm not a Sparkling Water fan, Neil. I don't think Gravel's going to be her game. And then the rest of the field is pretty much, you've got to find the well way. Hoodspray to me don't go. I don't think he's good enough. I don't care how.
Well, he's definitely not good enough, but he's weighted accordingly.
He's not a power king, and he's not a eye of the tiger, and he's not one of those, in my opinion. So,
but he got a softie. There's Jason. I hope he's going to update our betting. Hello, Jace. We've left some donuts in there for you. I just want to give an update. We actually haven't left any donuts because Eric's eaten them all. So he's actually going to be disappointed when he gets there. It's a fascinating race. I 100% agree with you. There's some horses there, but going back to the July per se, the best horse never wins the July. The best handicap.
In fairness, it doesn't. So do we know who the best handicapped is? That Tati Hoodspray. Is that runner prep? Yes. What's he going to carry?
Well, that's what I was going to say. And Grant van Niekerk, of course, got into a little bit of hot water by saying as much in his post-race conference. He was looking after him. And the Stipes called him and said, sorry, what are you saying?
The money was on it.
Was it?
Yo, there was big money for it.
Yeah.
Strong.
Interesting, because I would have thought that he would run like he did run.
Yes, but the money was strong.
Anyway, look, he comes into the race pretty well. To answer your question, in my opinion, who's the best handicapped? Well, it might be the 3-year-olds, because...
Well, what is the Safe Passage going to carry?
So Safe Passage has to... So on pure form, Safe Passage will have to give Pomp and Power a kilogram now.
Okay.
He should, if it was a true handicap, have to give Pomp and Power 2 kilograms, but Pomp and Power can only carry 53, so there's the lowest you can go,
Yeah.
which means the Safe Passage will give him 1. Now, he got beaten 2 lengths in the Daily News, so
Well,
1
it's
length
not
is not enough.
With the improvement coming.
With the improvement, but I have to counter that by saying I don't think the race fell for Pomp and Power. He didn't want to be that handy pulling.
I agree.
So
No, it's not cut and dry.
but the draw is so critical.
Yeah.
And Jay August has been on many. We've got another one coming up on Wednesday night where we'll give an update with Mike Wanklin, Graham Hawkins, Nico, myself, and Jay August about our final thoughts on the July. Jay August is saying, if you look historically, he's 100% right. The draw at the July is arguably the most significant pointer, and the reason for that is, and funnily enough, we saw it with a horse that you own the other day. If you get trapped on a fence and horses are sitting in front of you not going quick enough to suit your stride, you're going to get held up. Yeah. Meanwhile, the comedy dings,
the
classic flags, all fanning into the straight and going early.
Comedy dings, dynasties,
exactly. Yeah.
And the conglomerate, all drawn.
Well, the Pomodoro, another one. I think London News was drawn 18.
So they all get,
I think he's got a valid point.
So the inside draws are not great.
No, not really, no.
It's a fascinating race this year because it hasn't really thrown something out at anybody. The public can't say, okay, we got a...
Until perhaps now, because Safe Passage was super impressive.
Yes, but he's a 3-year-old and he's, Pomp and Power's got to forgive that run. Not his run, he was all over, his head was shaking.
I think he'll probably finish a bit closer, but on the handicap he's suggested to.
He should beat it and maybe definitely the best 3-year-old at the moment.
Yes.
But
I tell you, the last horse, because it affects the race, Belgarian has shortened a bit in your betting from 40-1 to 22-1. Now, he ran a very nice race again. He needed his prep, much better improved. If he does decide to run, then he becomes top weight, which pushes the Comedy Ding down, I think, half a kilogram. But can he win again, Belgarian?
Can, Neil, but when he won, he was pretty much the best handicapped horse in the world, not the country.
Yeah.
Not to say the best prepped. I mean, that was an amazing achievement.
Genius, yes.
So I don't think so, but he has seen Gravel, he has won. It is the Snaith Yard, so I wouldn't throw that totally.
Okay, so there it is. Just a couple. We don't know whether Jet Dark will run. We'll find out how he goes on the weekend. We've touched on Belgarian. Those are likely to be the top weights if they do accept. Do it again. Waterbury Lane, all these horses. I mean, Waterbury Lane ran a cracking race, but again.
Where did he stay?
Well, he was running on in the Daily News, but he's in the same category as Pomp and Power. He shouldn't be able to reverse the form.
But he had no problems. He fanned out. He ran on. The winner went past him. Came from behind him and went past him.
No, you need a lot of luck in running. I would venture to say.
I wouldn't think he can win.
So that's it. Lots of interesting betting comments. I thank Lance for his time. It's a great time of the year because the Hollywood Bets Durban July is the first Saturday in July, but so many important key warm-up races and golden ticket races have been run and still to run, the Jubilee being one of them on Sunday. We thank Lance for his time, and if you want to bet, go on to Soccershop.Bet, www.Soccershop.Bet. And while I'm talking about it, of course, there's so much sport going on. I won't even get into the fact that we've got a new golf tour. I'll just leave it like that. But there's betting on that as well. So I know most of us want to give up punting and take up golf so we can just make the cut at St. Albans on the weekend. But thanks very much to Lance, and thanks for watching.